time for another Wildcat All In with Weber State's Dillon Jones. Dillon, if I had told you 4 years ago, right in the height of COVID time and you just starting your career, if I had told you 4 years later you'd be here, finished with the career you had, graduating from college, and preparing for the NBA, what would you have said?
I mean, I would have said, I always thought I could do it, obviously, but I think that was my biggest strength, was my delusion. But I think it would have been, I guess, hard for me to believe in a sense, but at the same time, thinking that it's possible, so it would have been crazy to actually realize.
I'm sure growing up you always prepared or thought you'd make it to the NBA and had that goal, right? But and you still have that goal, but as you've gone through what you've had, how does it feel to be this close to that dream?
It's a I won't say it's a weird feeling, but it's almost like a sense of relief. Now, obviously nothing is guaranteed or you don't know anything until something happens, but I guess the trajectory I'm on and even being on that path is kind of a sign of relief in a sense of, you work to want to, do something and you believe in yourself, you do everything to get to that moment, whether it's off the court, on the court, going to church, being good in school, because your teacher's telling you if you bad, they gonna call me, like just all of that stuff, just remembering all that stuff. When you actually get that close, you just remember those times and notice how grateful you are. So I think in the sense of that, it's a relief because everything that I've done to at least put myself on a path hasn't gone like in vain in a sense. So like I think that's what it feels.
As you look back on the 4 years you've had here, how much have you grown and changed in the 4 years since you first came on campus?
Yeah, I think I matured a lot. I think one thing that I've, got from my coaches, people on campus and stuff is just being able to be accountable for myself. Just being able to actually, take criticism from people but honestly have that self accountability and be able to look myself in the mirror at times. I'm not saying I was like terrible at it when I came here, but it was something that I knew I need to work on. And it's something that I improved tremendously here. Like, I would be times where things might not go my way or something. And I would be able to, instead of looking around and like pointing the finger at other people, I would, gotta make sure it's not me first. And I think that was a real strength of mine as I, this year I was able to use that a lot, but I had to grow in that as I was here in school. So I'll say that,
What do you think you'll take the most, remember the most of your time, your 4 years here?
Yeah, I think I'll remember like the environment I was in. I think, I was in an environment where I was able to focus on basketball, school, and keep the main thing. I think that's what I'll remember the most because, obviously played with a lot of different teammates in the era of the transfer portal. So like, I played with a lot of older teammates and had a lot of veterans around me and stuff like that. So I remember them and the guidance that they gave me and the lessons I learned, here from them and from just like, struggles we've had as a team, positives we've had as a team. I'll just remember all of those things because it really shapes you as you continue to ascend and continue to grow, not only in basketball, but actually in life, So that's what I remember, The games and stuff was fun, the time on campus, being, academic advisors, you even like just being around people. That's what I remember,
Yeah. Let's look back on this year as the year was progressing and all the stats, all the records, all the publicity that you were getting, the attention from scouts, we had all these scouts coming to games, all that stuff. How did you process all that, knowing that it was going on? How did you deal with that and still play well?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I was able to use in my advantage was just be where my feet are. I think a lot of people got the habit of looking ahead and like, oh, what will this look like when I get there? But like they forget about where you presently are and the work that you got to do where you're at. I think that's something that I really never struggled in, here my senior year. I think if I was somebody that was looking like, oh, like what they saying about me or this or that, I would probably struggle a little bit more. But I was able to just worry about, wholeheartedly worry about just trying to win, and once I kind of, I guess, had the attention that I wanted, like it wasn't necessarily something that I had to always, I guess think about in a sense. I was on the right path. I trusted my coaches. They told me I was doing the right thing. So it wasn't much for me to really worry about. All I had to really do was do what got me there, which was, before they was trying to say I was going to do all this and that, I was just trying to win the basketball game. So as it's all going on, you just try to remember, you try to check those boxes of things that kept you going in that direction, which was what? Okay, trying to win, being unselfish, and just keep doing it for those things. And then that's what got me there. It wasn't like nothing special. So like, I guess as it was happening, it was easy for me to just get back to that, and it wasn't like a big thing for me,
Sure.
So.
But still a lot of noise.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking to you, I'm sure, nonstop. Games, I've seen them before games, after games. You had to have known all that stuff's coming, but you figured out a way to compartmentalize it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think it comes from the strength of, like, I guess, the people around me. Like, I don't have people around me that's just gonna like while everyone's keeping me so high, I don't have people like keeping me up there. They, if anything, trying to bring me back lower. My brother, coaches, family. They just always did a thing of like, which is honestly the truth, is like, people can say whatever they want, but like ain't nothing technically happened yet, and that's just the truth. So, just view it as a blessing. That's the biggest thing that those people was able to help me with.
Sure.
Cause, you can get caught up in it fast, and, agents, like you said, you've seen it, agents, financial advisors, scouts, just whatever, you hearing it all, and it's like you just gotta try to stay even keel,
Yeah, you're able to do that. I mean, yourself individually, you put up some records and numbers that may never be touched again this year. I mean, did it go as well? I mean, personally, how do you think your season itself went this past year?
Yeah, I don't want to say like I knew I was going to have a good year, but I continue to get better here every year. So I knew I had a good year last year, and I knew how I felt towards the end of the year before that. It was like, it just became more comfortable. I just became more comfortable in like who I was as a player, what my coaches was asking from me. Cause like the role I was playing was even different from like what I had done my whole career. So I knew I was gonna have a good year, how I ended my junior year in a sense. Cause like I was in such a good rhythm. And the only way that I was gonna have an even worse year was if, God forbid, injuries or something like that happened. But, I was grateful to not have to go through any of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I knew I was going to be great, but I knew that I already had a good year last year, and I was only going to get better. So I knew I was going to, have to, put forth a good effort to only just have an even better year.
Keep developing for sure.
Yeah.
Well, will there be a game or two or a moment or two that stands out to you?
Yeah.
From your career?
Yeah, I mean, you got to say St. Mary's. Just going in there and winning, first ranked win in the program in a while. Like, I think, obviously being here, like, I guess in my 4 years, tournament success, in the Big Sky tournament didn't necessarily go our way in some ways, and there's some painful losses and things, but we still accomplished some really good wins on the other flip side of that, Like I said, St. Mary's, winning at Utah State for the first time in a while. The buzzer beater fashion in Montana, that hasn't really happened since England, and those are the ones, and I think for me personally though, I'll probably say St. Mary's, and honestly at Eastern Washington this year was big too, because that was a game where we needed to stay afloat, to be in play for the 2 seed. They were playing really well, and we went in there and got a hard fought win. And, obviously they end up being the 1 seed and everything. So yeah. Those two this year definitely was like big wins. And I played well, obviously. So
you and I have talked before about how I know you keep track of records and history. You really do. You study your Weber State history. But what do you think your legacy will be at Weber State? Yeah,
I think it'll just be a guy that, I mean, we're sitting in it right now. The landscape of the college basketball changing. Guys transferring. Guys have good years at programs, still leaving, people taking money, things like that. I think mine would just be that, like, in the midst of all that, I didn't, like, really get caught up in it. I just continued to keep the main thing, which was basketball, school, having the right people around me. I hope that's what the legacy is, because ultimately that's going to last longer than whatever, in my opinion, just because, that just speaks volumes to who I am in a sense. I didn't get caught up in all the noise in a sense. I just stayed here, stayed through it, and really invested real time and energy here, in an era where it wasn't, where people were not doing that often. So
What about that moment, your last home game, where you check out, we're up big, and you check out and you knelt down and kissed the floor? Did you, that was not planned, right?
Nah, it wasn't planned.
What went through your mind at that moment?
I don't know, like, just, like I always say, student of the game. I've watched players like Kevin Garnett, like really emotional players, like he's done that before, and things like that. I was just dapping my teammates up, and I don't know what actually like happened, honestly. It just kind of just did it. And it was a dope moment just because, I earned that moment, in a sense. Like, again, like I was invested here. I was here for 4 years. I had a good career, and it was my last time on the court. So it was like I earned the moment to actually do that, and we were winning the game. So like that was good. But yeah, unplanned, and it was just a good moment though, definitely.
Pretty special for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're sitting here right now as well on the weekend of graduation at Weber State. And what does that mean to you to be graduated from college? Not only graduated, but you're an excellent student, has earned a lot of academic awards as well. What does that mean to you?
Mean a lot. Obviously, when Coach Ray was here, I was striving to be his first 4.0 student throughout 4 years. And I made it up until my sophomore year. Then Tim Border gave me a B+. And I never forget it. And he gave me a B+ out of all things. But, 3.7, 3.8 GPA or whatever, I'll still take it. So, passionate in school, just like I am on the court. I just want to be good at it. And, I've been, school's been its own battle, not in the sense of like actually the schoolwork, but just like getting up in the morning, fighting the covers, being tired, want to play the game, like whatever it is. And it's like, for that to finally just be all over, and you don't have to, unless I go back and get my master's or something like that. But, initially not having to go back to school, it's definitely a bittersweet moment. That's all I'll say.
Well, congratulations on that for sure.
Thank
and
you.
You should let us know too now what you've been doing since the season ended and your preparations now for the NBA draft.
Yeah, so I've been training in Boca Raton, Florida. Just there training with I signed with Rock Nation Sports. Sam Permit, really good guy, really good agent for me. And I've been there training with the people that he's set forth, put together a good plan for me to attack the pre-draft process and to put together a strong body of work. All eyes set towards the NBA Combine, which is, starts on May the 13th. I got that right. And I've just been working hard, getting prepared to, go there and, do what I've done.
You've been asked this before, but where do you see your game? You're in the NBA.
Yeah, I think I can be a player that plays a lot of different positions. I've been, working with the trainers in Boca, and, they'll say, like, you can be such a weapon at the next level just because of the ability to come off a ball screen and set a pin down and come off a pin down. Like, just that versatility is just, it's not often. So I'll say those where I can see myself being. On the ball, off the ball, really just being a multifaceted player, just being able to do whatever someone really needs me to do. I think, and honestly, if I'm being honest, like playing with, we got Jonell Davis up there in pre-draft, really good guard out of FAU this past year, and just even working out with him, and, we play a little bit, and like having a guard like that to just, give him energy, like, and just help him get open. It's just like kind of honestly been something that I'm able to get back to that I've done, early on in my career when we had Kobe McHugh and Isaiah Brown, and being able to just get those guys open shots and, really have my playmaking be on display. I think that's where it's going to be one of my biggest strengths, the next level, that.
Well, we're excited to watch you,
Sure.
for sure. Your career in the NBA, and I speak for Wildcat fans, I think, in saying how much we've enjoyed watching you for these last 4 years and seeing your development and what you've done for Weber State and the legacy that you are. And thank you so much. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I hope Weber State's it meant a lot to you, too, I'm sure.
Nah, definitely has. Appreciate it.
Dillon Jones, good luck in the NBA. Thanks for Weber State time, and go Wildcats.
Appreciate it.